The Marvel Universe is filled with all sorts of crazed supervillains who desire nothing less than absolute power. Fortunately, these deranged evildoers have been defeated countless times by the efforts of the Fantastic Four. However, there have been times where Marvel's first family did not emerge victorious. Despite their sincerest efforts, the Fantastic Four have lost a few battles here and there. Even though their victories far outweigh the failures, it doesn't change the fact that the Fantastic Four have not always come out on top. With this in mind, I'm Dan from What Culture, and here are 10 brutal times the Fantastic Four lost. Number 10. Dr. Doom defeats Reed Richards. Fantastic Four number 381. Fantastic Four number 381 begins with Reed Richards heading to Latveria to rescue Ben Grimm, who has been imprisoned by Dr. Doom. At a glance, this story seems pretty standard, and the reader assumes that Reed will vanquish his arch-nemesis, like he has done many times before. Sure enough, the story concluded with Doom overestimating his ability, and being thwarted by the Fantastic Four for the bajillionth time. Lying on the ground, the ironclad supervillain held out his hand, congratulating Reed on his victory. But as the leader of the Fantastic Four clasped Doom's hand, the armored dictator activated an explosive device, preparing to sacrifice himself in order to destroy his longtime rival. Before Reed's comrades had a chance to intervene, Doom triggered the weapon, causing them both to vanish without a trace. Even though it seemed like Reed and Doom had met their maker, the pair weren't dead. Instead, they were trapped in a realm ruled by Hyperstorm, Reed's grandson from another reality. However, Mr. Fantastic's teammates didn't learn this for over 2 years, and so they absolutely believed their oldest foe had murdered Reed. Number 9. Doom turns Johnny into a literal Human Torch. Fantastic Four number 36. After Dr. Doom fell in love with his henchwoman, Victorious, he decided the two should be wed. Doom was so over the moon with his betrothed, he invited the Fantastic Four to his wedding, asked Reed to be his best man, and vowed to make peace with his sworn enemies. But just as the wedding was drawing to a close, Victorious blurted out that she had slept with Johnny Storm the same day Doom had proposed to her. Left utterly humiliated, Doom exacted his revenge by blasting the Human Torch with a cosmic ray booster. This device amplified Johnny's fire powers, so it was impossible for him to flame off. Not only that, but the heat he dispersed was so overwhelming he couldn't even eat without melting his food. As a result, Reed had to inject him with nutrients using an adamantium needle to keep him alive. Although Reed is sure to find a way to cure Johnny's ailment in the future, all of his efforts in the recent comics have proven fruitless. Number 8. Doom kills Susan Storm. Fantastic Four number 562. In the future, Reed Richards discovered a way to extend Sue Storm's life, allowing her to live for centuries. But during the 26th century, the world was left uninhabitable, forcing Sue to time travel back to the 21st century. Posing as the Fantastic Four's nanny, future Sue tracked down Dr. Doom and used him as a power source so that the 8 billion people from her timeline could travel to the present. Thankfully, her plan was a complete success, and her people travelled to the modern timeline just before their world was destroyed. But since 8 billion people is a lot of people to accommodate, the Fantastic Four helped transport the time-displaced group to a separate world to live in peace. Even though Doom was furious that the future Sue had used him as a battery against his will, he understood that she was merely trying to save her people. Nevertheless, Doom felt like future Sue had disgraced his honor and thus electrocuted her until she was reduced to a charred skeleton. Number 7. Reed died. Fantastic Four number 254. While exploring the negative zone, the Fantastic Four landed on the world of Mantracora, where they encountered a being called Taranith Gestel, who crash-landed there years ago. Because Taranith's ship is fueled by thought waves, he needed the mind of an exceptionally bright person to power it. Detecting Reed's genius, Taranith kidnapped him and prepared to use his brain to activate his ship. After Reed's teammates broke out of their cells, they dashed towards Taranith's base to stop his evil scheme. Sadly, Sue, Johnny and Ben were too late, as Taranith had already drained Mr. Fantastic's brain of every thought. Luckily, Reed is so smart that he was able to use his thoughts to override Taranith's ship and return his mind to his body. Even though Reed was back to normal in the following issue, he was clinically dead for a while, making Taranith the first person to kill the leader of the Fantastic Four. Number 6. Doom sends Franklin Richards to hell. Fantastic Four number 500. By mastering the dark arts, Dr. Doom summoned a horde of demons to kidnap Reed and Sue's son, Franklin Richards, and banish him to hell. After the Fantastic Four had rescued Franklin, Reed cast Doom into the infernal dimension, Despite the fact Franklin had suffered no physical harm while in hell, he was left traumatized by the experience. He was so rattled, he believed he was still trapped there even after being rescued. Dr. Doom may have been imprisoned in hell, but this moment is still regarded as one of his greatest triumphs over the Fantastic Four. Number 5. Galactus eats New World. Fantastic Four number 584 to 586. When Ted Castle deduced that the planet would become uninhabitable in the near future, he and a group of billionaires funded a program to build a replica of the Earth that humanity could migrate to. Using his own scientific acumen, Reed ensured New World was ready to be boarded by humanity in the next decade or two. But only a few months after New World was completed, it was discovered by Galactus and informed Reed that he was ready to consume it. Knowing that he couldn't stop Galactus, Reed stood helplessly and watched the cosmic destroyer consume New World's thermal energy before reducing the celestial body to ash. Number 4. Doom murders Ben. Fantastic Four number 508. After your arch nemesis gets banished to hell, you'd assume that would be the last you'd ever hear of them. Before Doom had a chance to escape from his fiery prison, Reed transported him to a purgatory-like dimension, where he would be trapped forever. To ensure Doom never broke free, Reed stayed in this reality to monitor him. But when Sue Storm accessed this universe to locate her husband, she accidentally set Doom free, allowing him to transfer his mind into her body. As the Fantastic Four tried to subdue Doom, the maniacal monarch kept swapping bodies to avoid being sent back to hell. When he transferred his mind into Ben, the rock-skinned superhero managed to keep Doom's essence at bay long enough to tell Reed to shoot him. Fearing that Doom would use Ben's body to perform untold destruction, Reed blasted him with an energy cannon, killing him. Although Doom's essence returned to hell, he was still satisfied that he had forced his greatest enemy to murder his best friend. Number 3. Annihilus murdered the Human Torch. Fantastic Four number 587. When the ruler of the negative zone, Annihilus, obtained the opposing force, the antithesis of the power cosmic, the diabolical overlord prepared to take over the cosmos. Using his newfound power, Annihilus formed the largest army in existence, known as the Annihilation Wave. After activating a portal in the negative zone, Annihilus prepared to send billions of his minions through to decimate the Fantastic Four's homeworld. When Ben and Johnny learned this, they ventured into Annihilus's base to keep the aliens at bay. Sadly, the Fantastic Four quickly deduced they were no match for the Negative Zone's army. Out of sheer desperation, Johnny urged Ben and the others to go back to Earth through the portal. Realizing the dimensional gate could only be deactivated whilst in the Negative Zone, the Human Torch stayed behind to destroy it. After fighting for a few seconds, Annihilus's men tore the superhero apart. Number 2. Griever destroys Franklin's realities. Fantastic Four number 2. Just before Secret Wars, the multiverse collapsed, leaving a single universe left. But after Franklin Richards figured out how to control his reality-shaping powers, he and Molecule Man joined forces to reignite the multiverse. Little did Franklin know, he was being observed beyond reality by the Griever. Because the Griever's purpose is to destroy, she sees Franklin as an abomination who must be stopped at all costs. When his power faded, he no longer posed a threat, allowing her to slaughter Molecule Man. Because Molecule Man is a conduit for reality, his death set off a chain reaction, ending nearly every universe that Franklin created. With this single act, the Griever murdered more beings than almost anybody in the entire Marvel Universe. Since Franklin was powerless, he needed the help of the Fantastic Four to defeat the Griever. Even though they defeated her, the team was unable to resurrect the countless worlds that Franklin created. Number 1. Reed becomes a supervillain. Ultimate Mystery number 4 and Ultimate Doom number 1 to 4. In the Ultimate Universe, Dr. Doom set off a chain of events that resulted in the deaths of millions of people worldwide. Despite the fact that Sue Storm nearly died during this attack, Reed left her side to put a stop to his arch nemesis. When he returned, Sue dumped him, acknowledging that they weren't compatible for each other. Upon reflection, Reed realized that millions of people would still be alive if he had have just killed Doom when he had the chance years ago, believing that the end always justified the means. After killing innocent civilians to stop a greater calamity, Sue confronted Reed, telling him he had gone too far. When Reed beat Sue to the brink of death, she acknowledged that Reed had officially become a supervillain. Even though Sue, Johnny and Ben did all they could to stop Reed, Reed had a contingency for every plan, allowing him to easily defeat his former teammates. Only after he destroyed the US government, defeated the Avengers and annihilated dozens of universes did his ex-teammates finally put an end to Reed's reign of terror. And that's our list. Know of any other times the Fantastic Four lost? Let us know in the comments below. You can follow me on Twitter at DanJDurkin. And after that, be sure to head over to whatculture.com for more lists and articles like this every single day. For now though, I've been Dan, and I'll catch you in the next one.